Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. This is my weekly reading where we talk all about what's going on with the weekly energy, the energy that's impacting each and every one of us, and how we can maximize the energy, how we can make the most of the energy that we have going on this week. So if you're somebody who is sensitive to energy, a helper, a healer, a light bringer, or just anybody who is feeling the collective energy, this is the message for you. This is going to help you to make the most of it. So I start with channeled messages, what I'm connecting with in regard to this weekly energy, and then we build on those messages with some tarot cards as we get through later on into the reading. Let's dive in. So how are you guys feeling? We are officially now in the eclipse portal. So we've had the solar eclipse on that new moon, and I'm still feeling the power of that energy a bit. And we are moving into, we're in between eclipses right now. So eventually in the next couple of weeks, by the end of the month, I think it's at the very end of the month, we will be closing out this eclipse portal with a lunar eclipse when we have that full moon. So this is meant to be a time of a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things that are happening. There's a lot of things that are developing for us. There are a lot of things that are manifesting for us during this time period. And there are a lot of things that are clearing for us, right? It's like all of this movement to basically get us to where we need to be. And so it might feel a little chaotic. It might feel a little challenging in terms of not quite understanding where things are going to go or how things are going to develop or why things are happening the way that they're happening. Because I think that a lot of the things that can happen during eclipses can look very challenging, can look very scary sometimes. There's a lot of tower moments, like the tower from the tarot, meaning that there are so many things that are closing out, falling apart, clearing out. And what happens is when something isn't meant for us, if we haven't cleared that out ourselves, we will have these tower moments. When something wasn't built on a solid foundation, we will have these tower moments in an effort to bring us to where we're meant to be so that we can rebuild in a way that's better, lighter, more aligned for us. So know that everything that's happening is happening for our highest and best good, for us to be put on our most aligned path. I like to say that with eclipse energies, for me, that's an energy of being picked up and then being put down where it is that we're supposed to be. So if we wandered off our path anywhere, hi Lynette, nice to see you on here. If we wandered off our path anywhere, we are going to be led back onto our path, whether we like it or not, right? Because a lot of times where this becomes challenging is when our ego steps in and our ego says, I don't like that, or that's not going the way that I thought it was supposed to go. That's not going the way that I wanted it to go. Things like that, right? But that is our ego. So the more that we're leaning into our soul, the more that we're trusting the process, trusting the journey, the better. Because I think that it makes things that are happening right now very difficult to predict. It's hard to feel into a lot of things right now. And that's because there's so many moving parts and so many things that are happening. And it's all meant to bring us to where we are supposed to be. But here's the thing, and this is so important. These messages this week are really important. I encourage you guys to listen to the end because this feels really important. They're always important, but this feels especially important because we are at a pivotal point here in this energy. I don't know if you guys have felt these shifts that are happening. I totally forgot that we are now in the Arcturus gateway. So the Arcturus gateway goes from this year, October 16th into October 19th. And this is a really magical energy. It's a really magical opening. It's when the sun aligns with Arcturus, and Arcturus is connected with if you're familiar with extraterrestrials, the extraterrestrials are Arcturians, who are known for their loving and healing energy. And so the Arcturus gateway is this beautiful opening that can allow for healing, can allow for love and compassion for one another. It can allow for significant levels up in our lives, and also a lot of abundance. Remember, I was talking about last week this vision that I was having of the floodgates opening and all of these beautiful things arriving into our experience. I feel that was very strongly connected with this Arcturus gateway. And the Arcturus gateway is also this opening for all of these amazing light codes. And so I've been feeling these light codes. The night before the eclipse, which was, when was that? Friday? It was so strong and so powerful, and I was just processing so much energy. In fact, I intentionally took some time to just soak in it, to absorb it, to feel it, because it was so incredible. And I just was so aware of the way that my heart was opening, the way that every part of the water in my body, we're made up of mostly water for a reason. We're water carriers here. And every part of the water in my body was receiving this light and these developments and these light codes. And it's bringing us to this place where we are different, and we're different than we were already. We've been on this journey. We've been developing, changing, and growing. Like, I'm not the same person that I was even at the beginning of the summer this year. And you can probably look back and recognize the ways that you've grown and developed and changed. But this is, again, changing us. It's shifting us. There's so much rapid transformation that's happening. And for me, eclipses are about that rapid transformation. And we're receiving all of these downloads, all of these light codes meant to program our bodies to be able to be more intuitive, to hold more light, and to be more connected to the divine. So it's really beautiful. You might find that feels a bit uncomfortable. My heart chakra has been going wild lately. It feels very fluttery. It feels like there's a lot of activity going on there. You might feel that in other parts of your body. It's helpful to know your body and to know how you're responding to energy, which is why videos like this are so important, because when you start to connect the dots of how you respond to certain energies, then you know yourself, and then you know how to understand when something is just energy, and we don't need to be concerned about it. We're processing a lot of energy, but it might be impacting your sleep. It might be affecting the way that you feel. But if we really take the time to tune into it, I think that you'll recognize the real beauty that's happening in this energy. So what is this? This is another crossroads. I've been talking about us preparing for something, right? And us preparing for a new journey. But the new journey is a split in the path. It's a choice on our path. And so I very much had this image of the Fool, which we've been pulling that Fool card in the tarot, which is meant to signify the beginning of a journey. I had this image of the Fool at a crossroads. And this crossroads is us choosing this week and over the next few weeks the timeline that we want to be operating on. So what the heck do I mean by that? Because some of you don't know what I mean. We have opportunities to level up in terms of a timeline, to level up in terms of what it is that we're experiencing here on Earth, to connect with higher vibrational energy. And as we connect with higher vibrational energy, we are having experiences that align with higher vibrational energy, which usually are all of the things that we want to be doing, having, experiencing, love, happiness, joy, peace, abundance. All of those things exist on the higher timelines. And the higher that we climb in terms of the timeline that we're operating on, the more easy it is for us to access that and to connect with that. And it feels like a shift within the planet, and that we're all here in this crossroads, and we are deciding essentially between love and fear. Are you going to choose the path of love, divine love, or are you going to choose the path of fear? And the path of fear is the path that we've always existed on, that has kept us stuck, kept us small, kept us held back, kept us from pursuing and experiencing the things that we want to be experiencing. It's kept us stuck in old patterns. And the path of love is supporting us in connecting with our peace, in finding and creating heaven on earth, in following our intuition and letting it lead the way, even if that fear has a tendency to creep up and try to pull us back into this other path. And so you're going to find this week, over the next few weeks, that there will be experiences on your path and you will have a choice. Am I going to choose to respond to this in the energy of love, or am I going to choose to respond to this in the energy of fear? That is going to be determining the timeline that you're operating on moving forward. Now, will there be other opportunities for that? Absolutely. So you cannot screw this up. But if you want your path to be more comfortable, if you want to move forward in a way that feels lighter and better, and to make the most of this time that you have here on earth, you have a really beautiful opportunity to lean into this lucky energy of Arcturus, this transformative energy of the eclipse, and to let it lead you to where it is that you're meant to be. And so ultimately, how do we choose that? We choose to stay in our light as much as we possibly can. Okay, so we choose to stay in our light as much as we possibly can. We choose to be as kind as possible to one another. We choose to not let fear divide us. We choose to stay out of worry, stay out of venting, stay out of gossiping, stay out of worrying about what other people are doing, because the other part of this energy that we need to be aware of is that we need to stay in our own lane. So if you're finding yourself caught up in what somebody else is doing, feeling competitive, or even just wanting to control what someone else is doing, you're choosing the path of fear. And so can we redirect and as quickly as possible get ourselves back onto this other path over here that is the path of light, that is the path of love? And so choosing higher vibrational choices, choosing, this isn't necessarily like, this is going to be a lighter path, an easier path in a lot of ways, but it's not necessarily the easy choice in the moment, because your ego is going to fight you on this. Your ego is going to say, you know how you always worry about that thing? I want you to keep worrying about that, because the ego wants to keep us small and stuck and scared. The ego is going to say, continue on, or go back into patterns, habits that don't serve you, that you know don't support you. The ego is going to say, choose relationships, opportunities, circumstances in your life that on some intuitive level you know aren't aligned for you, but they feel comfortable. They feel like what you're used to. They feel normal. And so there's this real call to shift out of what's known. There's a call to shift out of our comfort zones and to push ourselves. Complete faith. It's going to require us, our faith is going to be tested. And it's going to require us to lean into our faith anyway. Whatever it is that you call your higher power, this is where you call on them and you say, please show me the way, please support me along the way. And you're going to get these intuitive hits where it's like, oh, I need to take this step, I need to do this thing, I need to move forward in this direction. And it's going to require a certain level of bravery, of strength, of courage. And we're prepared for this. I've been saying to you guys, we've been prepared, right? The preparation has been happening, and now we're going to see what it is that we've been prepared for. But again, if we're caught up in other people's stuff, if we're caught up in what other people are doing or trying to control other people, that is going to pull us off of our path. So stay in your lane. Stay focused on what it is that you're creating, because we've got enough to do over here on our own. We don't need to involve ourselves in other people's stuff. Speaking of staying in your own lane, I see that I have a scammer below trying to sell things to people. So don't give people your money. I will never, ever, ever reach out to you guys and ask you to give me money or ask you to do a reading. I let you guys come to me, and we work that way. So keep that in mind. I'm sending you all light as you find your own way. So I think I have more than one scammer here in the comments. But anyway, so stay in your own lane, stay in your light as best you can. So if you catch yourself going into these dark holes, try to bring yourself back. Try to do the things that you know work for you, or this is a great time to explore what does work for you. You know, for me, what always balances me out is to go for a walk. Even if I start to like worry and stress at the beginning, by the time I'm done with that walk, I feel better. I feel different. So that's going to be helpful for us to do those things that we know work for us. Meditation is another one. Using the energy sessions in my membership. If you're a member, there are so many tools in my Clarity by Christy membership that you can pull from, that you can use at any given time whenever you find yourself struggling and wanting to go onto that path of fear, to go onto that path of continuing in the direction that you have been going on. And I don't mean that we can't continue with the things that we're doing, but we want to build on them, right? And where we feel called to move away from that, we just don't want to let fear prevent us from moving away from that. Hi, Rick. Nice to see you on here. So we just don't want to get pulled off of this higher path that we're now starting to see for ourselves. We might not know exactly where that path is going. I don't think that we do, but I do think that we're starting to become aware of steps that we need to be taking and where we need to challenge ourselves. Where we need to challenge ourselves, like for me, like a big part of where I'm being challenged is that I'm being called to say no to some things. I'm being called to continue to build on this work that I've been doing with setting boundaries, with setting limits, with being really mindful about what I am investing my time and my energy in. And I think that so many of us, especially the helpers and the healers of this world, are being called to do that, because if you can't help yourself, if you haven't found that balance for yourself, how do you truly, to the best of your ability, help other people? And so, you know, I'm walking the walk. I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. And I think that that's an important part of my work that I'm doing, is finding more balance there with that. And part of what I'm feeling called to do is to incorporate more fun into my life and to do things that feel fun and letting that lead me and guide my path. Because I don't think that we come here to, yes, we come here to work and grow our souls and develop, but I also think that we come here to enjoy and have fun. There's a lot of fun and laughter and joy here in this earth, and it's so important that we're connecting with that. The other part that I want to highlight is how deeply important it is for us to be spiritually connecting in some way with our higher power, whatever that is for you. Maybe just even your higher power is the earth, whatever that is for you, but some kind of spiritual connection is going to help support us and carry us through this energy. Because I think that we had an important shift over the past couple of days, and I think that that's going to be developing, where we're recognizing more and more how much we are no longer a body. We never were just a body. How much we are no longer just having this human experience, but we're having a spiritual experience. And it's so much more than just what we experience here in this body. And so we want to start to look beyond that and to connect in some way spiritually, and to do things that help us to feel spiritually connected, that foster that. I have been listening to so many different podcasts and things that are expanding my mind and stretching my mind. Shout out to Brandon Thomas. I was on his podcast. I think the episode came out last week. Check that out if you haven't. But he is just such a cool human, having such amazing down the rabbit hole conversations with people that just, his show's called Expanding Reality, right? And it's expanding my reality. And I've just like needed that. And I think that we all are needing that, where we're needing something that's just like helping us to grow and expand our minds expand our spiritual beliefs. Let yourself explore, let yourself ask questions, read things that are spiritual in nature, connect with the earth, spend time outside, whatever that is for you that fosters that spiritual connection. But that is going to be the key, and that is going to be really, really important moving forward. The other thing is for us to not be too attached to who we used to be and how we used to operate in this world and what our circumstances are. Because the magic of this energy is that there's a beautiful opportunity for our circumstances to significantly shift for the better as we lean into this other path, as we lean into the light and creating more light in our lives and honoring our spirituality. There's this beautiful opening for so much to shift in a positive, beautiful, amazing way. But if we stay so attached to who we used to be, even a week ago, it is going to anchor us in a way that will hold us back and prevent us from continuing to rise above all of this. So knowing that, and let this energy shape you, build you. This is really, we've been talking about working through all these layers of healing, and it's like we're peeling back the layers of an onion, and we're starting to understand every week, every day, more and more who we actually are. And as we understand who we are, we start to recognize what no longer aligns in our life. And so a lot might be changing. You might even be, I've had a lot of people say I'm clearing things out of my home. Me too. Because things are a part of that too, right? You might not be so attached to the things in this physical world, or you might feel like you need to create some energetic space. And you might look at things and go, who was that person that bought that thing? Because that's not me anymore. You might feel called to present yourself in a different way. You might be showing up in this world in a different way. Follow your intuition. It's going to show you how to show up and how to be, and what this looks like for you moving forward. This is part of choosing the path of love, is choosing yourself, choosing how to love yourself, choosing to let that love lead you every single step of the way. The fear will hold you back. The love will guide you and lead you. And I think that if we lean into this, there is a level of spiritual connection and of divine support that we will connect with that is absolutely unmatched, that we have not connected with here on earth up until this point. And it starts now. It starts here. It starts with a choice. So I hope that each and every one of you are choosing it. If you're choosing love, let's set the intention. Let's put it out there. I choose love in the comments right now. Show me where you stand. Show me that you've gotten this far with me in this video while I'm shuffling. I choose love. Say it again and again until you believe it. Because it's not an easy thing, right? I choose love. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know if you're seeing this stuff show up for you already so far. Let me know. If you're watching this on my YouTube, please subscribe. That always helps to support the channel. I'm going to be releasing a bunch of new videos in the month of November. My goal, we'll see if I accomplish it, is to release a new video every day throughout the month of November, but we'll see. We'll see how time allows, but that's where I'm going. I'm really trying to build that and develop that. If you're somebody who likes to watch live, make sure you also check out the link in the description box where you can follow me on Facebook. I like to go live on Facebook. That's where my peeps are. So I don't know. I just really like Facebook. I love to connect with all of you on there. But you can connect with me either place. I have some stuff coming up on YouTube that is going to be different than what will be on Facebook. So definitely want to subscribe there too. And it helps to connect your energy with this reading. Holy moly. Okay. By the way, part of choosing love is opening our hearts to all of these possibilities and not being guarded, not being protective. So what's so interesting to me, I'm going to show this to you guys. These are the first 3 cards. What do you notice? You see all that yellow in the background? These are, I think they're called the golden cards in the tarot. And the reason that they're called the golden cards is that they're meant to bring an energy of light with them, of optimism, of hope, right? There aren't that many, how many are there? There's not that many of these in the tarot deck. These might be all of them. We got them all right next to each other. And to me, this is that energy of the sun coming out. This is that energy of stepping into something really incredible and really powerful. I almost feel like I could cry right now because the energy is so magical and beautiful. But I was laughing at this first card because I pulled the Magician. And if you guys watched last week, we were talking about the Magician. That was the theme, right? I was talking about like we are the Magician. We are becoming the Magician. We need to embrace the Magician. We need to embrace this power that we have to be the author of our own life, the co-creator of our own life. And we're working together with our higher power to create something really incredible. But you have a choice, right? You could not, or you could not be an active participant in what you're creating and hand all of your power away, or you can step into your power and you can choose what it is that you want to create. How do you create? Through the energy that you feed, with your thoughts, with your words. This is not a time to focus on worry. This is not a time to put your worries into words as often as you possibly can. This is a time to believe that you're creating something better for yourself, to understand that you're powerful, to understand that you have everything within you to create the things that you want. This is sometimes in another deck that I have, this card at the bottom of it says, you are ready. And that's what I'm hearing in my head right now. We're ready. We've been prepared for this. And we don't have to let fear hold us back anymore. It's time to step into it. It's time to, the Magician has all 4 of the suits on his table. And it's meant to represent having and creating everything. We can have and create everything. And it's really beautiful. And it's time that we understood it. It's time that we step into our power and become the wizard of our own lives. The next card, 7 of Swords. It's calling for us to be strategic, to be aware, to be conscious of our approach. Because if we're operating from an unconscious place, if we're operating from emotion and just letting ourselves choose and manifest from an unconscious place, we're going to get more of the same. Then we are unconsciously choosing that path of fear. But if we're conscious and we're aware of what thoughts am I allowing in my mind? What energy am I feeding? What actions am I taking? Am I taking actions out of fear, or am I taking actions because I feel intuitively inspired? It's a very different energy. And so can I take those inspired actions and be strategic with it? What is the life that I want? And what actions am I feeling inspired to take in order to get me there? Leave the rest out. Don't get caught up in all of the other bullshit that wants to come. I can hear it in my mind right now because I'm thinking about my own circumstances, and it's like, but what about this and what about that? Forget the what abouts. Stay in your own lane. Stay focused. Stay in your light. Do what you have to do to move yourself through this energy and to continue again and again and again to choose love, because the more you choose it, the better you're going to be at it. The better you get at it, the closer you get to truly embodying the energy that is divine love. This is, I think I said this last week, like this is about us learning how to embody the Christ consciousness. What was the Christ consciousness? Love, divine love. And to me, this is us moving closer and closer to the collective embodying the Christ consciousness. And this is something that's available to us in this lifetime if we continue to choose love. It's up to us, the Queen of Pentacles. As we choose love, we recognize how supported we are. we recognize that it isn't always about doing. It can be just simply about setting intentions and receiving. This is us choosing to continue to work on, develop, move in the direction of those things that we are intuitively inspired to move toward, and to be resourceful on that path, right? There's some things that I'm working on that, you know, like I'm still having to put a lot of sweat equity into it because I don't have like the financial equity to make it happen. But my choice is to either sit around and wait until that financially exists and maybe never have that happen, or to put the work in, to learn it, to develop it, to do it, and to make it happen, and to let myself be resourceful in figuring this out. Usually there's a way, right? And can we figure out a way to continue to move in those directions and to let ourselves be inspired. The Queen of Pentacles is incredibly resourceful. She's also very aware of who she's giving her time and her energy to, because if she's investing a lot of time and energy into things that continue to trigger her fear, that's not going to support her best path. That's not going to support her abundance. That's not going to support her feeling good and supported here in this world. The Queen of Pentacles feels so divinely supported because she knows that at the end of the day, God is her true provider. She's very aware of that. Four of Pentacles, speaking of being provided for, finances coming into balance, things coming into balance, feeling divinely supported. But the Four of Pentacles is also a decision. It's a decision to be open to receive, to truly be open to receive, to not let old ways, old patterns, the old versions of us block us from receiving the blessings that are wanting to come in. Because if you allow it, there are so many blessings right now. Most of our blessings are not being blocked from the universe. Our blessings are being blocked from ourselves. And that's a hard thing to take a look at. But we have to recognize, where am I obsessing about this too much? Where am I trying to control this too much? Where am I focusing on an energy of lack? And through that, I'm creating more and more lack. We want to be open to the abundance to flow into our experience. And this isn't easy. Somebody in their session to me today said, I feel like I've been in a boxing match with myself. And doesn't that just describe this energy that we've been in? What part of you do you want to win? We want to support that fighter, coach that fighter, give that fighter that support. We want to support those thoughts, those actions that are creating the better version of ourselves, because as we allow for that, the money will come, the resources will come, the opportunities will come. If we're so caught up in outcomes, we're not going to allow things to just flow into our experience. And so, of course, set your intentions. We're powerful manifestors, but also working with the energy and letting it unfold, not in our way, but in God's way. Incredible, incredible things are happening. And we just have to pay attention to where we're being guided to take action, what we're being guided to do, how we're staying in our light and our love. The next card is the Two of Pentacles, a choice, a decision. Weighing out our options. This is that boxing match that we're having with ourselves. Will I choose love? Will I choose fear? And every moment, we get to choose that again and again and again and again. And if you're consciously paying attention to that, how long can you stay in this energy that is love? How long can you stay in this energy that recognizes how supported you are by the universe? That to stay in your knowing. Because your knowing knows that you're supported. Your knowing knows that you're good. Your knowing knows all of this stuff that I'm telling you about the energy. It's resonating with you because you already know. And so keeping that in mind and not getting caught up in the bullshit surface level stuff that will try to pull you into your ego, will try to pull you into fear every step of this way. What's going to win this battle? Last card, Seven of Pentacles. We can choose to see every situation from two perspectives. We can choose to be caught up in our frustration at the way and the rate that something is developing, or we can choose to see the growth. We can choose to see the progress. We can choose to see the way that we have grown, we have developed, things have moved, things have shifted. The way that we have so many of the things that even just a year ago, definitely 5 years ago, that we wanted. We have so many of those things now. Can we hold gratitude for that? Can we hold an appreciation for that? Can we choose to see the growth rather than how long it's taken, or it not developing in the ways that our egos, our humans want it to? Because you know what? Maybe there's a different plan and we need to be open to that. And as we lean in and have faith and trust and let it happen, we're going to watch things grow that much more, right? Like this plant that's growing might be growing into something that's completely different than the seed we thought we planted. But isn't that okay? Because it's something better. It's something that God is growing for us. And isn't that miraculous that even though we thought we knew what was best for us, God knew better. So leaning into that, it's going to require a lot of faith. It's going to require a lot of trust. It's going to require a lot of coaching yourself through this, managing your energy, staying in your light, doing everything that you can to keep your frequency up. I know there's a lot going on in the world, and I know that it's so easy to get caught up in that. And it's okay to be aware of that, but it's also okay to stay in your light. There is no value in lowering your vibration to because other people are suffering. In fact, that does just the opposite. As we work on raising our vibration, we create a bigger light. And as we create a bigger light, other people join our light. Other people receive our light and they build their light. And eventually together we light up the world. This is what changes the world. Being pissed off, being upset, even like us empaths, right? We can get so caught up in, oh my God, like just heartfelt feeling what other people are going through. And it's heartbreaking, right? But if we stay in that does nothing. But if we can shift into being kinder to one another on a daily basis, being kinder to ourselves, staying in our light, being more connected as a society. Connected societies don't have awful things happen. We don't do terrible things to one another when we feel connected. Connection and love is the answer to changing everything here in this world. I see another scammer here. God bless you. I'm sending you light. I hope that God leads your path toward finding another way to connect with your abundance, but please don't give them your money. All right, guys, thank you so much for sticking it out. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, give me a shout out, let me know. I will put the link for my membership below in case you want to join. There's a link in the comments as well to sign up for my email listing, which will allow you to then get an email with a coupon code to sign up for my membership for only $222 first month, $9.99 every other month after that. I kept the price point really low because I want people to be able to access this, but it's full of tools and classes and meditations and hypnosis sessions, all the things. I'm really proud of it. I would love to see you guys in there if you're not in there already. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe as well. I appreciate you all. I'll see you soon with another video.